Hi there, everyone. I wanted to do just kind of a quick video to kind of cheer myself up because I had kind of a crappy day. um, as you know, like what I do is I don't do very many hauls because I'm kind of a cheapie and I only get a large amount of books when I have a large amount of money. So I tend to get like a large grouping of books at the same time. And I have wanted to build up my collection of LGBT romances. And this year I've started more with the male on male romances. So, next one, I'm going to try to find a lot more female on female ones, which I have a growing list. So, I'm going to try to find more of those so that I can have a good haul next time. So, this is what I'm kind of dubbing my Christmas book haul because basically all of these were purchased after the new year, but they were because of Christmas money that I had gotten. So one of them just came in today, and by today I mean Wednesday. But this won't go up until tomorrow, so whatevs. So I have a particular order that I'm going to be starting from, and the first one I'm going to be looking at are all the ones that are set in first person because last time I actively tried to find books that were in third person, and a couple of them I know were in third. So, because I'm trying to read more in first person and get kind of more used to it, I didn't look at that. I basically just chose books that I liked the premise of, whether be damned they're first or third person. So, this first set of books is all in first person point of view. So, if that's something you're looking for in the male on male romance genre, these are the ones for you. Now, mind you, I haven't read any of these, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. And they're all in paperback. So, the first one I have is Where Nerves End by L.A. Witt. And this one was one that I was originally not going to get because I was trying to find it in a non Dream Spinner published work. Um, because if you haven't heard about the controversy with Dream Spinner publishing, not going to get into it in this video because that would take forever. But too long didn't read. I was able to find this as an independently published one that L.A. Witt had managed to do, so I was very happy. This deals with, I believe, a man who is needing of an acupuncturist, and it's sort of how he gets help with his need for an acupuncturist, and the acupuncturist falls in love with him. I don't know very much beyond that because I read the blurb like way back in December when I was trying to make out my list. So, but I like them. I like romances that kind of have that little bit of medical knowledge. So I was really kind of interested. The next one I have is actually one from an artist, an author that I really love her cover designs. And that is Married for a Month by Kate Ashwood. Now, Kate does a lot of freelance cover designs, and she does fantastic covers. I've seen some of the ones that she's done, and I'm blown away by how nice they are. So, obviously, this is one of her books. Basically, the title tells you kind of what is going on. Basically, two guys, they decide to get married for a month, and feelings start to come up. So, I'm super excited for this one. I really love the kind of fake dating that this type of genre goes through, and it's always fun to read about. The next one I have is actually one that almost got purchased during my birthday book haul, but it ended up getting beat out by a couple of other ones, and that is Wintershins. I believe I hope I'm pronouncing that right. By Jordan L. Hawk. Now, this has a lot of magic and mystery and a detective, I believe. Yeah. Oh, he's a Pinkerton investigator. And I really want to learn more about the Pinkertons, so I'm hoping that there's a lot of information. And I just found out that the seventh and final book, I believe it's the final book, just got released recently. And the author actually posted about it, and I said, it's like, I just picked up your first book and I can't wait. And he was like, awesome. So yay. The next one was actually the first one that I had gotten when I actually had finished the order, and it came really quickly, so I was quite happy. And it's one from one of my favorite authors, and that is The Hate You Drink by N.R. Walker. This one, I got it mostly due to the fact that I'm a big N.R. Walker fan. Her Cronin's Key series, I've only gotten through the first two because I needed to steel myself for making it last. But The Weight of It All wrecked me. Absolutely wrecked me. But The Hate You Drink basically follows a man who lost both of his parents in the same accident and now basically is destroying his life one drink at a time. And I love the tagline. Like, I didn't actually see the tagline when I was reading the summary. Mostly I got it because of all the hype behind it, and I'm hoping that it's really good. The tagline goes, because when all you drink is hate, that's all there is inside you. And I love that. I want to see, like, how tragic the main character, I think his name is Monroe. Yeah, Monroe. Gets, and how he spirals down and how he kind of gets back up with the help of his friend. I think it's his friend. Yeah. I think it's his friend. But I love N.R. Walker's writing. She has such a way of adding a lot of humor, and I can't wait to read more. The next one I got because I was more looking for some paranormal romance, and I'm always interested in ghosts, and I don't see a lot of them in the romance genre unless you're dating a ghost, which I don't particularly care for. But this one sounded interesting, and that is Ghost House by B.L. Maxwell. This one features two friends, one of whom is like a super daredevil when it comes to searching up ghosts and everything, while his friend is just kind of dragged along. It kind of reminds me of the difference between like Fred and Shaggy on Scooby-Doo. But basically, I think it's the one that's the more scared version that is like, he has feelings for him, for the other one. And I'm really interested to see how that plays out. So I'm super excited. Now, I will be the first one to admit that this next one was definitely a cover buy. Because I saw it and I'm like, whoa, okay, was not expecting that. And more than likely, if I ever end up getting monetization, this will probably be a video that doesn't get monetized. But I have Lace Covered Compromise by Sylvia Violet. Because I don't know if you can see it, but that man is wearing lace panties. And what you probably don't know about me is that I like reading stories about cross-dressing and anything that allows people to kind of step out of their gender norms, such as dressing more feminine or dressing more masculine, and that's not how society views you. I eat that shit up. So when I saw this cover, I'm like, sold. I didn't even need to read the cover, read the back cover before I bought it. It's one of the few where it's like I get an actual cover buy. So, and I have a Kindle Unlimited copy of Sylvia Violet's Omega series. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I read the novella Love at the Lupine Bakery last year, and I loved it, even though it was super short. But it's like a novella. Of course, it's going to be short. But I really loved it. I loved her writing style, so I want to see what else she's got. I also have book technically one for that series, so I'm going to try to read both of these. The next one I got was majoritively because of hype. Actually, it's probably entirely because of hype. And I always have to have at least one, because last, for my birthday book haul, it was 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I'm still working on my best and worst video. And yeah. And I'm also working on a DNF video that's very, very long, and that includes 7 husbands. And I was not happy. But this one I've already started, Witchmark by C.L. Polk. If you have been living under a rock. This features a doctor who is a witch in, I think it's London? England. Edwardian England. And basically, witches are seen as dangerous and they get sent to either asylums or I think locked up. I don't remember exactly. But this has a mystery when a guy specifically gets brought into his hospital by this gentleman. I think his name is. Jesus Christ, I just barely started reading it and I don't even remember what the hell his name is. I don't remember. But basically this guy is brought in and he gives him some cryptic clues saying that like other witches are being hurt and he has to be the one to help. Well, he's been running away from his legacy and his family for a while now, so now he's got to jump out of the closet, so to speak. But it is male on male, and I don't know how deep it goes. I think this is young adult. I'm not entirely sure. But I got it mostly just due to hype because I saw Common Spence talk about this and he loved it. So I'm really interested to see where this goes. I did start listening to the audiobook and I don't know if it was just the mood I was in, but it was not hitting those spots and I was just kind of like bored. Like a couple of reviews said that they liked the story, but it never caught them enough to keep reading. Like when they put the book down, there was never like an urgency to actually finish it. So, The next one I got was my obligatory I need a Christmas book. Because I love reading Christmas. I love watching Christmas movies. Like basically from the time that Thanksgiving ends, I'm watching like Hallmark or Lifetime. So I needed a Christmas book. And I got Love Happens Anyway by R.J. Scott. I have very little knowledge of what actually happens in here. It's pretty thin. But the back actually says, hiring a boyfriend for Christmas? What could possibly go wrong? So again, another fake dating kind of idea. So I'm really looking forward to this. Again, very thin, very small, probably a very quick read. Now, the last one that I have that's part of the first person narrative is one that I got when I read the synopsis for this. I was like sold. And that is Clickbait by Garrett Grooves. I hope I pronounced that right. Grooves. This one, just based off of the title, I liked it because basically you have this personality that's on the internet that is loud, rambunctious, and just all over the place. And then he shoves his foot in his mouth and he cannot find work at all. And he royally screws up his life. Well, then he has to basically work with a reporter who has to do a story on him, I believe. Oh no, he gets asked to be a reporter about another internet sensation. And yeah, it's an enemies to lovers, which I also really like. And I was like, I love this cover. For one, it's the glossy cover, and I really like glossy. Like, I tried liking the matte finishes, but for some odd reason, it just gets so dirty so fast. But I really like the glossy, shiny cover, and it's nice and smooth. So, yay. Now, the next two are from the same author. One of them was the one that arrived today, and the other one I had got just as she changed to the new cover. So I was super happy when I got this version of it. So the one that I got from her old covers is The Rainbow Claws by Beth Bolden. This one features a football player. Oh, and another sticker fell out. I'm just finding stickers everywhere. This one is about a football player who, if you're not aware, it is very uncommon for football players to be out if they are gay. So he's like a Heisman winner, member of the national championship team, and NFL Rookie of the Year. So he's got a lot of attention on him. And apparently, a lead journalist wants to basically interview him and shine a spotlight on him. Well, they basically get closer and closer, and that's kind of how their story develops. Secretly dating each other and also trying to hide from paparazzi. So I love this cover so much. So pretty. And the next one from Beth Bold that I got is Wrapped with Love. This was the one that came in today, and I was super happy. She sent along a bunch of stickers and bookmarks, and Beth is just awesome. She's so sweet, and she wrote a nice little thing for me in the front, and I very much appreciate it. Because with the day that I had today, I had already seen this when I came home briefly, so I already knew that this was kind of waiting, but I had forgotten about it because of all the stuff that was happening. So when I came home and I actually got a chance to really look at it, I was floored by Beth's kindness, and I really do appreciate it, and it really brightened up my day. So, Beth, if you're watching, thank you. You brightened up my day so much. Because I was honestly just expecting maybe a bookmark or two and the book. I was not expecting pins and recipe cards and stickers and signedness. Oh, it made me feel so much better. The next one I have is actually was one of the ones that almost got bought during my birthday book haul, but because I had other things I wanted to get, this one kind of fell by the wayside. And I was really sad that this one actually fell by the wayside because it was such an interesting concept for a book, and that is Criminal Intentions by Cole McCade. Now, again, I haven't posted yet my best, worst, and my DNFs of last year, but you're gonna hear the name Cole McCade before in that one, because I read My Cocky Valet during that one, and unfortunately that one ended up on my did most disappointing / worst for a completely separate reason. I've actually contemplated rereading that by listening to the audiobook and seeing if I like it better. Not sure. But this one, Cruel Intentions, is basically each book is separated into seasons and episodes, and it's a crime drama featuring male-on-male romance, and it just sounded so cool. I mean, it's not small. It's a pretty decent sized book for a male-on-male romance. If you notice, a lot of these are pretty thin, but most romance that's not mass market paperback are. The next one was actually one that I was wanting to read, mostly due to the fact that I like road trip stories. I like stories where you have two people who are friends who go on this adventure. Unpopular opinion, I loved the movie Crossroads with Britney Spears, and even though she's kind of bland in that role, I liked it because they started off as enemies who used to be friends, and along the way they not only fixed their relationship, but they were able to stand by each other by the end of the book, or by the end of the movie. I haven't watched it since I was a teenager, but I might actually try to find it again from the library. But that is The Long Way Around by Quinn Anderson. Basically, as I said, it's a road trip book about two friends who decide that one of them is an introvert, the other one is very extroverted, and I believe it's the extroverted one who decides that they're going to do an epic road trip across the country to go to a wedding. And basically, things happen. I don't know exactly what things. I can't wait to read it. I'm super excited. The next one I have was one that, honestly, when I read the cover, I'm like, This one's gonna make me cry because it has to do with animals and do with rescuing animals. And that's literally what the title is. Rescued by Felice Stevens. The minute I read this summary, I'm like, this one is gonna make me cry. Basically, you have a guy, I believe one of them works in as a vet or at an animal shelter. Oh no, he rescued a pit bull after he finished with rehab. And he ends up meeting a construction worker, and yeah, apparently this pretty puppy, this gorgeous thing here, helps them get together. I can't wait to read it. I know I'm probably gonna cry. If this dog doesn't die, I will be very, very happy, because where the red fern grows destroyed me, and it torments me to this day. The next one that I have is actually the last fiction book, because I did get a couple of writing craft books. But the last one that I have is Dead Speak. I hope you can actually see the title. Dead Speak by Pandora Pine. This is from her Cold Case Psychic series. And as you know, I really love crime fiction. I love reading stories about detectives. And this one is actually about a detective who is at his wit's end on a case and decides, let's try using a psychic because we have no other options. Which is different than a lot of the crime fiction that I've read when it comes to like psychics or people who have mystical means. They tend to kind of go down the Nancy Drew route where the psychic kind of goes on their own. This one, the police are actively asking for his help. So I'm really, really excited about this. I know that there's other books. I'm not sure if they're like standalones or if they're all part of the same universe or same couple. Find out when I start reading. The next one I got was actually one that I was reading earlier today while I was dealing with life. And that is Creating Character Arcs, the Masterful Author's Guide to Uniting Story Structure, Plot, and Character Development by K.M. Weiland. This one I saw, I think it was Caddy-tastic. I think, don't quote me. But this one I really wanted to get because I wanted more information on how to build good character arcs. And I've only read I think the first couple chapters, as you can see where my little tab is. A lot of it is kind of hearkening me back to reading Save the Cat. So already I'm like, okay, I kind of get where I'm going, so I'm good. And unfortunately my tablet has a lot of squishy stickers and they're kind of sticking to my book, so I gotta peel those off. The next one I got is a relatively small book, but one of my biggest problems is that I don't use, in my writing, I have a really hard time thinking of good, strong verbs when I'm on the spot editing. So I got 1,000 Strong Verbs for Fiction Writers by Valerie Howard. Very, very short. Basically what she did is that she took a particular action, let's go with hang, it's a short one. And basically she wrote it out so that it's you hang on something. Here are other words that you could use, such as affix, drape, or pin, or hang in midair, dangle, or suspend. And basically any one of these good verbs can be used in place of these less strong verbs. And the one that I was always having trouble with was look or look at. So that one I know is going to end up being a favorite page when I go through editing, because I always have trouble thinking of a good way to use the word look without using the word look. The next one that I have is one that actually was written by a YouTuber called Hello Future Me. He is a sensational story builder because what he does is his channel is basically breaking down how to build a good story and how to build the parts of it. And if you are the type of person that likes world building, likes delving deep into characters, into plot, into magic systems, I highly, highly, highly recommend checking out Hello Future Me's blog. Not blog, YouTube channel. And he wrote a book called On Writing and World Building, Volume 1, by Timothy Hickerson. And he basically took all the information plus more from his videos and put it into this book. And I started reading a little bit of it when I first got it, and I'm like, dude, you are way smarter than I am. So this is why I need books like this, because his world building ideas are phenomenal. I love listening to his talks about world building, and he actually brings up a lot of really good points, especially about magic systems, because he uses Brendan Sanderson's hard and soft magic systems to describe what they are, how you can use them, how you can build your own. And it's super, super effective, and I really do think that this is a good book to get. The last one it wasn't one that I bought, but it was one that returned to me after a very long hiatus. It was one that I had let my friend borrow, and I had completely forgotten I had let him borrow it, but he was nice enough to actually return it, which is 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons Rules Compendium. Basically, if you are a nerd like me, you've at least heard of Dungeons and Dragons. This is the 4th edition compendium. There is a 5th edition out. That's not the one that I learned on. I learned on 4th edition. But this basically whittles down the rules into micro groups so that it's easier to reference. Now, it doesn't have everything in it, obviously, because it's a thick book, but it's not like it's not extensive. It's basically like the Reader's Digest of the rules book. And it's really good for getting like quick rulings out. And for me as a DM, this is the first time that you're knowing this, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons off and on since, I want to say, my sophomore year at college. One of my friends looped me into her game, and I was kind of obsessed. Again, like I said in my ADHD video, that I get obsessed with shit that I find. So this was one of my obsessions. I actually had an entire account where I kept just building and building and building characters, and I had an idea for a chaotic evil campaign. I had an idea for a modern day campaign, but life kind of got in the way, and like most things, I kind of got bored of it after a while. And then I had a 2-year-long campaign that I ran called Everon. If anyone is ever interested in hearing about the exploits of Everon, I'd be happy to let you guys know about that, because that was 2 years of my life that me and my friends dealt with. And that was actually a really big party that we had. Ooh, it grew from like 3 people to, I think I had 10 by the end of it. And we didn't even finish the campaign, so it's whatevs. But I was really happy when my friend got this back to me, because I had completely forgotten that I had let him borrow this so that he could learn 4th edition. But now that I'm basically, this same person who I had let borrow this is wanting to run a set of podcasts playing various tabletop games, and this is the engine that I'm going to be running. So if you're interested in that, when we actually get that up and running, I will happily link that in the description or talk about it at some point. Because apparently 2 of the people that want to be a part of my game loved having me as a DM so much that they only want to be a part of my game. So yeah, they're 2 of my best friends, but they were brand newbies when I got a hold of them. And basically my entire group are people that I had they had cut their teeth on 4th edition. So we'll see how that goes. I'm happy to have this back so I can actually reference to it, and I'm quite happy to have it back. So those are all the books that I've gotten in my Christmas haul. I hope you all have enjoyed this. I know it was kind of a longer one, especially unedited. But I hope you all enjoy it. And I hope you all enjoy the unedited videos because you get to see a little bit more of the randomness that is me. And thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!